hello. Good afternoon, and welcome to another Cacoa Tea. It's a beautiful Saturday. At least it's beautiful where I'm at. I don't know where you're at, but if you're just logging in, I just want to encourage you to share the link 1 time, share the link 2 times, share it 3 times, share it 4 times if you must, but just get everybody in on the conversation. You know how we do every single Cacoa Tea show. We like to warm up the audience a little bit. I have a little bit of music playing in the background. You can hear a little bit of Carlin XP because, you know, this show is a Bouyon Monarch show and she is the current reigning Bouyon Monarch champ of Dominica. Gonna give you a little bit of background, don't you guys worry. Welcome to another edition and welcome to another episode of Cacoa Tea. Promise to give you a great show as always. Don't forget, if you missed the show or if you want to listen again, you can simply log on to my website. That's www.jaeljoseph.com/PLOG as in podcast log. And you can listen to all the shows right on my site. All right. Hi, Fred. How you doing, my doodoo darling Fred? Haven't seen you in such a long time. We got some folks coming in. And you know what I want you to do today? Because this show is a difference. It's definitely different from the normal shows that we've had on Cacoa Tea. It is a musically geared show, and it's also going to be promoting an event that's coming up. And you know, DA to the bone, I mean, it's in my blood. I'm Dominican. I'm also Canadian, but I'm Dominican. That's what runs through my veins. And Dominica is known as the land of Bouyon music. And if you're just logging in and you're probably wondering what the hell is Bouyon music, because you probably never heard of it in your life, gonna give you a little background on that, don't you worry. And I just want you to just type in where you're from so we know where you're connected from. So if you're in any island, any country around the world, when you log in, just let us know where you're hailing from so we can shout you out to give you a hail up, you know. Fred, I know, I'm so happy to have you on. Fred is locked in and she's a dear friend of mine. She's actually French, but she's more Dominican than me. Yeah? She lives in Dominica and she has one of the best bars on the beach in Dominica. If you're in the Mero area, just ask for Fred. That's all you got to do, and they'll take you to her. Right? So Fred is locked in right at this time, and we're going to get started. I promise to give you a great show as always. In the back, you're going to be listening to a little bit of Carlin, a little bit of Bouyon. We're going to mix it up a bit. And if you just log in, just want to let you know a little history. Bouyon music actually originated from the island of Dominica, and the original WCK, who brought you, some of you Caribbean island people might know, Balance Batty, Kong Shell, just to name a few. And they became very, very popular back in the 1980s, and it was known as a fusion of different genres with inclusions of songs from the Lapo Cabuit, which is sort of like Lapo Cabuit converted into English means snake skin. Is it snake skin? No, goat skin. What am I saying? Goat skin. Where my Creole gone? Yes. So they put the goat skin, you know, over the drums and they give you a nice music, man. And also the taboo, the accordion, and the drums, of course. And sometimes, at least sometime lately, they started referring to Bouyon as a faster tempo version of soca music. We'll get to know a little bit more about that. And today we're going to be talking to the folks who have organized the Bouyon Monarch. That is the Bouyon Monarch competition in Dominica. It's been running for a few years now. And the concept actually started back in August of 2014. And it was initially to have the top Bouyon singers going at each other in a battle and to see who would take on the Bouyon throne. However, after 2 years of hosting the event, it became apparent that it didn't really appeal to these sort of singers, or targeted the Dominican singers. So this year they've collaborated again, and they're bringing you a weekend. I mean, we're going to talk about it. It's the beginning, and it's going to be called Ignition. And I just want to shout out, we have Ben who's locked in Alberta, Canada. We have people in Guadeloupe. We have USA, Houston, Texas. Ernest is locked in. Ernest, I hope you're coming down to Dominica for the Bouyon Festival. And as I promised you, we have an amazing show. I want to introduce, my guests today. I have one of the most talented women I've ever come across. And I think I'm shivering talking about her, right? I've actually listened to this woman perform just a two-man show. Can you believe somebody can actually perform by themselves and you feel, they don't need no band, and you can feel every single beat of the music. You could feel every single word that comes out of her mouth. I mean, she is simply amazing, talented young woman. She's also a nurse and the current running Bouyon Monarch of Dominica. I want to welcome Carleen XP.
Whoop, whoop. How are you, Jael? Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much for being here. I am so appreciative. I know, Dominica has gone through so much the last couple of months, and to even have lights and well, I should say electricity, because
electricity.
Yes, some people might say, what lights talking about?
What is light?
What is light? To even have power and to be able to get on the internet is indeed a blessing, right?
Oh, yes.
And it's happened in such a short space of time. I must commend, the folks who've been working to get that organized. And I'm so happy that you can be here with us and talk to us about Bouyon Monarch, about Bouyon music. We're gonna have a great show today, and I'm gonna bring in my next guest one time, two time. He is the current DHTA Vice President. Now, DHTA is the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association. He is the current Vice President, and he joins us here today. He's gonna be, he's right here, live and in living color. Want to say a special good day to my partner I've known for a minute, Kevin Francis, who is also part of the executive as it relates to the Bouyon Monarch Festival.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking to Kevin. Kevin, you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you cool. Loud and clear.
Right. London is locked in. Don't forget, guys. Tell us your link. Tell us where you're actually hailing from, so we know where you're at, so we could shout you, give you all your props one time. I just wanna, of course, before we go any further, I wanna just make sure everybody have their Cacoa tea. I just have to make sure. Let me see your mugs.
Definitely got mine.
What does your mug say, Carleen?
Just some beautiful flowers. There we go.
What does yours have on it, Kevin?
No, it's the same plain mug, just like you. We simple.
We boring.
Yeah.
No, but I couldn't get one saying Carleen XP, so I had to settle for this flower.
Someone needs to send the Carleen XP mug for her. Yeah.
Exactly.
Somebody needs to organize that. Not organize, no, organize that one time. I'm so glad that you guys could join us. New York is locked in. Nadia Francis from New York is locked in at this time, and I'm so grateful that you guys could be here with us for, of course, this episode of Cacoa TV. We have a packed show for you guys, but I want to take the interview straight to Carleen. I want to start off, talking to Carleen a little bit. Carleen, tell me, what made you compete in a Bouyon Monarch?
Well, the Monarch was there, and I've been, as you said, singing for a number of years in the forefront, as a Bouyon artist, as a soca artist, as a musician, singer. So when they decided to have the Bouyon Monarch competition, I decided, why not give it a go, Nothing to lose, but plenty to gain if I take part in the competition. So I went up, and 2 years running, I reigned supreme.
Wow. Well, tell us about your first year experience.
The first year was good, I must say. I got to represent Dominica in Montserrat. After I won the first Bouyon Monarch, and I must say hats off to the Bouyon Monarch Inc. You know, they've been doing a good job in helping us promote the Bouyon music. My first year, I must say, it was good.
Okay. Awesome. Kevin, I wanna bring you in. I wanna bring you in a little bit. Can you give us a little background on the Bouillon Monarch? Why did you guys decide to start off a Bouillon Monarch show?
Well, I mean, Bouyon is inherently Dominican. Yeah. So we needed something to represent Dominica and Dominicans, and we have a culture, and that Bouyon music is our culture. So I mean, what best to represent us than our culture? Music is something that's relatable for the entire world. People gravitate and resonate to music. And we just feel like now is the time for Bouyon to step out onto the stage and be recognized as a formidable genre.
Okay. And give me a little background on Bouillon music because of course we're gonna have people who are coming on and they're gonna be wondering what is Bouillon music, what is Bouillon, what exactly is it? I mean, I could give it a whole long history, but just give us a nutshell as to what Bouillon music is and what we represent.
Well, I feel like I have to give the representation from my eyes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I wouldn't call myself an older person. We young, right? All of us here are young. You know,
Yes.
We hope to.
we, because that's how I feel, and I feel good.
Uh-huh.
And when I grew up, I grew up in I was born in the 80s. When I grew up around Bouyon music. I grew up around bands like the WCK. Those are local bands for those who are not from Dominica. WCK for Serenade, and it's a I don't know if I would have to describe it to you in one word. It's well, two words. It's beat and rhythm. Yeah, it
Rhythm,
might.
Redeem, redeem.
rhythm.
You
You,
like the
you,
rhythm, you know?
you can't say rhythm, eh? It's not rhythm. I think
Redeem,
I think people might have a misconception and say it's rhythm. It is rhythm, but it
redeem.
can't be rhythm. It has to be rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, it has its roots like way back too, when Colleen and her husband, was one of the original founders of WCK and Bouyon music and what we consider Bouyon music. So I know Colleen has you know, a a direct line to the Bouyon music. It's kind of like Game
Oh,
of
you mean
Thrones. She has like that
Pipeline,
lineage,
eh?
yes.
like some of her name, Bouyon Queen, Draco, Shades. Yeah, you know.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yes.
So okay, now Carlene, going back to you. You are the reigning Bouillon monarch. You're also a woman. Um,
Yes.
this is well, I've actually been to both competitions that have happened,
Okay.
and there were no other women. yet,
No.
yet you reign supreme. How
Yes.
how does it feel? How does it feel to be the actual reigning monarch and be a woman, not just the monarch, but to
Yeah.
actually be a woman in a competition which is male dominated?
And I mean, not just the competition that is male dominated, the whole genre of Bouyon music is male dominated, but I'm not easily intimidated. So when I go out, I go with all my guns blazing,
We
especially if I'm competing. So I mean, as a woman, we run the world. So sorry, Kevin.
I just listened in. Uh,
Kevin, I put you on
make
the
your
big screen.
point.
I literally put you on the big screen by yourself because I didn't want to. If I had put you any smaller on the screen, you would disappear. So, so I leave you on. I give you the big screen today. All right,
Right.
so you have the bigger part of the screen. So yeah, women do. We run the world, and I
Yeah.
must applaud you. I've seen both of your performances when you competed, and I must say that you really came out and you gave it your all. Now, who have you really looked up to? Because you don't clearly, you just clearly stated it's a male dominated
Yeah.
genre. Who do you really look up to in this industry? Because you can't really refer you really to soca artists per se,
Right.
but who do you
Per
really
se.
look up
Well, I really actually did look up to two soca artists, and then which would be Alison Hines and Destra.
to?
That is where I would basically get most of my performing skills from. Of looking at them on stage and trying to not really mimic them, but get their own kind of vibes and use it.
Mhm.
And then in Dominica, we already have a Cadas queen, right? That would be Ophelia. And then we have a reggae queen, which would have been Nelly.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking, and then we have Mikkel, who is in a class by herself as well.
Yes.
So if we have Bouyon music and we're saying Bouyon music is our own and it's Dominican, why not have a Bouyon queen? And this, it
Great idea.
drives me and propelled me to go into the Bouyon music, and I can really say I'm dominating, a little bit.
No, you have you have a very unique voice, and I put you on the same level with a lot of soca artists in terms of their range, in terms of the quality of music that you make. I
Yeah.
I feel I feel still that you could compete even with soca artists out there. Why haven't you ventured out, or what is the holdup on venturing
Ah,
out into that big stage with the big guns, so to speak?
ah, well, in order to venture out and probably get to Soca Monarch or these things, you have to go through a process, and they like to do their things legit. You cannot just decide you go into Soca Monarch and look here, I'm calling XP and I want to take part. No, it has to go through a process, and the process would be going through DFC, and maybe if somebody from the government would recommend you, as that's our person that is representing Dominica in
Mhm.
your international on your international competition, then everything has to go through a process. But
Okay.
I am going through the process, and hopefully next year I will be on their stage too.
What, boy? Big things, big
Yes.
things, big things. I must commend you on that. Bring you in now, Kevin. You guys have been putting on this show for a few years now.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you guys have faced in terms of the Bouyon Monarch competition?
Why? The list grows, continues to grow, but it's been recently getting shorter because we've been collaborating a lot with the industry, with the artists, with stakeholders,
Hmm.
producers, and kind of bringing everybody into the conversation. But we have a few of them. I think one of our original frustrations was the fact that in the first one, everyone was kind of looking for, oh my goodness, where the big guns, where the
Yeah.
Benjis and where the Raz and I mean, I'll be very honest with you. I mean, in lieu of that, it's still gonna happen. The must go on,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but we originally thought that they would be welcoming to that. You know what I mean?
I, I,
So
I must say, I must interject that. I must say, I was extremely disappointed to know that, well, when it first happened, that the big guns, so to speak, were not
Big one, yeah.
participating. I could not understand why they wouldn't, or what is the, probably they would have to speak for themselves as to what
yeah,
what
yeah,
really prevented them from joining. But I felt that putting on something that is our own, in terms of Dominica music, whether or not the prize was small or grand, I felt
Right.
like to put out a good product, because the point of it is to actually for marketing of Dominica on a whole, right?
Right.
And Bouyon music is not a French people thing. Bouyon music, it isn't. It isn't. It's a Dominican thing. Who actually, and
yeah,
French people love it. You
Yes,
yeah,
get
they
what
yeah,
do
I'm
yeah.
saying?
actually.
They
So
do.
so
They
I
consume a lot
feel,
of bouillon for sure.
sorry to say, I'm not trying to diss no French people. I'm just saying, because I love French people. You know, Jovian is practically French, right? So I'm practically French, you know. The voice is more French than English, right? Um, but it is a genre that is loved by the French people.
Yes.
Yet
Yeah.
I feel our Dominican people have sort of like backburnered it a lot. Like they just keep like throwing it on the back burner. Colleen, before you, I know you're gonna say something. Before you say anything, um, Kevin, Colleen, what sort of challenges do you face as a Bouyon artist?
Um, it's how should I put it? Let me see, how should I put it? Especially being a woman, even if like I'm not intimidated by the men and them in the competition, you know. But sometimes I feel like as the Bouyon Monarch, and you know, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of exposure,
Just
for
say
lack of a better
respect, Anna.
word.
Just say you're not
Respect,
getting their
yes,
respect.
that I don't want to say it, but yeah, thank you. You know, you would see certain shows on there and you would expect like for the Bouyon Monarch to be on there. It could be anybody, it could be me, it could be whoever is the Bouyon Monarch at the time, you know? But you would expect for you to see the Bouyon Monarch on there, and it's not, and you're wondering like what's going on. You understand? So I think this is one of the challenges that I face too in the Bouyon genre.
Hmm. I wanna actually, seeing that you brought it, you opened up the door. I wasn't gonna say. You opened up the door. I want to touch a little bit about on even most recently, locals have expressed disgust at
Yeah,
your music.
This
Most
is a hard word.
it actually
it
is the word.
is.
It is the word. Discuss over the
That's
music. Even most recently, Carnival Celebrations, the Speaker of the House shared her views on the genre, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel? Do you agree or disagree with her sentiments? And I don't know
I
if I
mean,
need to repeat what she said or dictate to redictate what she said, but she was just not in approval of the genre, stating that in a nutshell, it gets people wild, it gets people crazy, and people behave badly, whereas other genres people tend to be less badly behaved.
yeah.
well, I
So
mean,
I,
the
I put it
speaker,
nicely, yeah. I could have put it.
she had her chance, you know. Even the Bouyon Monarch Inc., they organized a panel discussion on the well, and they invited her actually, which was called Fire Under
Yeah,
the Pot.
she was one of the ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was one of the panelists, and she did explain herself and what she meant, and you know where she was coming from. You know, so it's her
Did you agree with
opinion.
the sentiment?
I
I
cannot
still go
agree. I cannot disagree. Because I
She
mean,
is
everyone,
entitled to her opinion. Yes, for sure.
yes, because everybody is entitled to their own opinion, you know. But I'm gonna leave that there, you know, Jael.
Yeah. I feel we speak for the speaker too much.
No, no,
Yes,
no,
Right?
no. It's not even that. It's not even that because she may just be one person with a
right.
bunch of other people who share
The
similar
same
sentiments as
Yes,
her.
sentiments.
yes,
That is, we
yes.
have to keep it 100. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's not. I'm not putting the speaker on blast or anything. I have nothing but great respect for her as the speaker of the house, as a woman. On a whole, I really have a great appreciation for her. I just wanted to talk on the fact that she brought it up in terms of
Yeah,
the music, and it wasn't about particularly a song. It was the genre
the
in
genre.
on
Well,
a
In
whole,
well,
right?
Jael, you know what? The song, the genre itself, the whole argument is that it gets you say violent, like it's that kind of music, But I'll be very honest with you, and like I told you, we grew up in the 80s. I mean, I've heard bouyon music in the 80s that are a lot more violent
violent,
But
so
than
it's
to
not even.
speak.
But it's not
than the
even
Yes.
ones
bouyon
now.
music. It's not even bouyon music. Forget about bouyon music for a second. Take for example, Jab Jab from Grenada.
Right,
Yeah.
from Grenada.
I
Right,
mean,
Grenada.
if you have to compare it, I love my Grenadians, okay? But it's
Mm.
like devil music. I mean,
And the horns and the black tar not really helping
exactly.
either, you
All right.
know?
In Trinidad, they have the Blue Devils, right? And I mean, at the end of the day, I feel in all essence, the music comes from what our ancestors brought with them, and the vibe and the flavor and
Yeah.
all of that, right?
Right.
And as much as, somebody might say it sounds like something, anything can sound like something. You can sing Ave Maria, Ave Maria, and it sounds like an angel, or you can say Ave Maria, like you
Jab,
understand?
jab,
You know,
jab, jab,
Yeah,
jab,
jab,
jab.
you know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? I'm not,
Stephanie
I'm not an
Maria, you know.
artist, but I'm just keeping it 100. Right? At the
Yeah.
end of
right.
the day, I feel Bouyon music is really a representation of our culture, and
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
we as a people should not knock our own. It's like we saying we don't like Dominica, we don't like this, we don't like that, and almost like putting another island in front of us,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, Trinidad has their soca, Haiti has their compa, North America have their hip hop and trap, but Bouya is what we have,
That's
and
what we have.
irrespective of how it may be translated in the sense of what is Kex Mafia song? What is that song? Help me.
Hello,
Puss,
Kiki.
That's my jazz. You understand?
Yeah, you would like that. You would
I,
like that
yes,
song.
she
Yeah.
I
would.
love, I love, I'm a little louder when I have to be.
Uh,
I have no shame in my game, but I absolutely love that Pussycat song. Like, I feel it was well written. I mean, it
yeah.
has a vibe to it. It makes you just want to go puss 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 puss, like the
I
whole
get what you
time,
mean.
right? So
I know.
on a whole, I feel that we need to embrace what is ours, and like you rightfully say, Colin, they need to put some respect on it. Like when it comes to like the Creole Music Festival and all these different festivals where other artists from all over the
All
world,
over the world.
that, and I don't even consider it Creole music as much as they might try to break it down
Yeah.
and say Creole music. I don't give,
It's
I don't
it's
give
a
a
like
rat's
a
ass.
loose translation, but it is Creole. I mean, you have to bring on your international artists to
Dude,
spice it up, you know. But I
bring on your
mean, we
international
all
artists to
share the
spice it up.
same roots.
But you'd be surprised. Majority of, I'm going to touch on my French people. Majority of the French people who are attracted to the Korean Music Festival, they come for Triple K, WCK, Original Player
Uh-huh.
Pioneers. That is what they really come for. They could
Yep.
give a rat's ass about, because at the end of the day,
They come for the
Creole
bouillon, man.
music is about our culture, and it's about our music, and that is what they appreciate, and
Yeah.
and it's a product, it's a product to promote, right, and to market, and if
Right.
we're gonna market it to people, we have to market it as our own. So I hope, Colin, that this year that you will be on the stage and not backing up Bouyon Pioneers, but
Somebody.
as you know
Or
you know
somebody.
as a somebody, you
You
understand?
know?
I really hope. Continuing with, the conversation, um, Kevin, I want to talk to you a little bit about Bouyon music being categorized as a sub genre of soca music. What are your thoughts on
Um, as a
that?
subgenre, I mean, if you really look at it, I would call soca a subgenre of bouillon music. You know,
Thank
All
you.
right.
but
I sip tea. If I sip
yeah. So, I mean, back to your earlier point about, sounding like, I mean, whereas we need to differentiate, what we have to understand too that that whole region shares a heritage, they share culture.
Mhm.
So, there are similar things in that culture, that resonate along, the whole chain, including the music, in the drums and like, take Jab Jab, for instance, you say, oh, well, Jab Jab sounding like, Bouyon or Bouyon sounding like soca. And so, yeah, there's a reason for that. I mean, it's our culture, but
Right.
originally, they've taken elements of Bouyon music, to do soca. I think Bouyon music is a genre that can stand on its own. I think it's in that stage of like development, in a way. I remember I had a conversation with Ra the other day, and I was saying, well, Bouyon music to me now is like you have a child and you never used to check your child. And then your child starts to go around couch on the road and up and down and do whatever, and then
I'm
just
like,
like, yeah, well,
I'm
look
like,
at me now.
why not try like you never used to check Kevin? Like, I don't know.
Hey, hey, hey,
Colin, we don't
hey,
have
hey,
children, we don't need to check,
hey,
right?
hey.
We're not about that life. So
No, but I'm saying like you're meaning that you never really check it, you never really tend on it, and then what happened is like, okay, we just kind of went on and did our own
It
thing, and
run
then
wild.
everybody else.
we could use a flower. You'd have to use a child. We could say no flower.
But what would happen to the flower if you don't check it? It would brittle
It would
off and die.
Exactly.
No, but the point I trying to make is that when you come out the other end and it's like this whole new person that you don't necessarily like, you can't really feel no way because
Yes.
you never really check on that
Brought it up.
flower,
Yes.
So but no, I feel like we need a structure. We need a box to create in. I'm a creative person, and I'll tell you straight off, I do not like coloring in lines and boxes and those kind of things. I like to kind of freestyle. But when you're developing something, you need a structure. You need a set of rules and set of guidelines for us to create within. And then when you reach the borders, they say, okay, well, I've outgrown this mode. Let me do what I have to do. And that's what we're trying to do with the Monarch, trying to do with the festival. Which is, well, this year is the first time we're doing the festival. So
yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the festival in a little bit. We have a lot more to talk about. Carlene and Kevin is on with us on Cacoa. If you're just joining in, make sure you let us know where you're hooked up from, where you're linking us from. I want to say special good afternoon to Elon, who's out there in Tampa, who's locked in right about now. Don't forget that you can ask your questions during the course of the show. We may not answer them all, but we'll try to get to your questions as early as possible. So drop us a line. Let us know what you want to know about. If you have any questions, if we miss something, and you probably want to know something specifically about Bouyon Monarch or the festival coming up soon. So you just drop us a line. Don't forget, when you get on, if you're just getting on, share the link. So hit the share button so that somebody else can know about what we're speaking, so they can join in on the conversation. Back to Kevin. Kevin, let's talk about this year's event. You, of course, said it's different from the normal. You're doing a festival. Tell us a little bit about the festival.
Well, quick backstory, and Colin will tell you. When we did the actual show, the Monarch, the great stage production. It was top quality, But what we noticed was that the people that we wanted to come, weren't necessarily coming, We had this whole idea of what Bouyon consumers look like, and that was just completely blown out of the water, And it turns out, surprisingly, that the people, not surprisingly actually, that the people who consume the Bouyon is 30 to 45-year-olds, and not necessarily that 16 and 18 to 25 demographic that we associate Bouyon and lively and those kind of things. So we were struggling with okay, how do we do something that promotes the Bouyon music and the culture, and at the same time it's sustainable, So we decided we're going to reapproach it, and we decided to do, well, what we ended up with was a festival, a whole weekend of festival starting from the Friday.
First of all, when is that going to be held?
Well, it's going to be in July. It's going to be July 13, 14, and 15.
Okay.
Right? So it's going to start from that weekend. So what we're going to have is, we're going to have the Monarch, but it's going to be surrounded by fringe events. So we have for the Friday, we saw on the Friday, something that was actually a very good idea from one of the organizers show, one of my partner, Frosty. It's Bouyon Jazz and Wine, right? which was interesting, you know, from the first time we heard it. I mean, we knew it wasn't something that was impossible because Cornell does have a series of music, you know, with jazz adaptations of some of the Bouyon music, you know. And so it's not unheard of. And at the same time, what you do now, you get to cater for that, you know, 35 to 45, 50 demographic that really love the Bouyon music, but don't
They want to
necessarily
slow
want
it
to
down a
be,
little bit, you know?
yeah, you know, they don't want to
Yeah.
be in with everybody making
They want to
noise
cool
for
it
a
still a
whiskey
little
by the bar. Oh, you want a whiskey, you know? No, we're not about that life. We want to sit down. We want to have some, you know, wine and
Wine.
talk. It's an all-inclusive event, all right? We'll give out the details coming closer, you know, but it's an all-inclusive event. It's going to be featuring Bouyon music in a jazz adaptation, you know. So I can imagine like Balance Batty playing, you know, like singing Balance Batty to a jazz. I remember one Jazz and Creole Arturo Tapping did that with the sax, you know.
Yes,
So
that was so
yeah,
cool.
that was, I'm telling you, I'm getting goosebumps all now. So you know, so I mean, it's doable and it's to cater for a different demographic that loves Bouyon music and package it in a different way. And then we have the Saturday. The Saturday is Bouyon in the garden. Not gardens, yeah. That's
In
not botanical
In the
gardens.
garden.
In the
In the
garden, right? But now the garden now is a beer garden. You know, we want to do a beer garden. We're gonna do an all day event. It's for everybody. It's for adults. It's for children. It's for fetters. It's for Bouyon lovers. It's for tourists. It's for everybody. So the idea is that we can come in for the whole day, enjoy Bouyon music, Bouyon food, Bouyon culture, just the whole one pot feeling that Bouyon is. You know what I mean. But with the beer garden now, we're actually going to have several different beers represented. We're really gonna make them like terraform. I don't want to use terraform because terraform is such like a strong word.
I know.
You know, like you gotta make it look like a garden. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want like a beer section. You know, we just want it to be something that's good, something that showcases Bouyon and the kind of feeling that we want to promote when we think about Bouyon music, you know, not just jump up and wave, but like an inclusion. You know, it's Bouyon, it's all in one. Bouyon is a one pot. You know, I remember having to go by the river and cook a one pot a Bouyon with my partners. You know, that was fun. So we want to promote that as a culture. You know, and we believe that promoting the culture will better promote the music. You know.
Sunday.
Oh, and the Sunday, yes, the Sunday. The Sunday is,
I got you. It's okay. I got you.
Yes.
okay, we got a Bouyon boat cruise, right? That is going to be crazy. You know, we had a weird idea one time. It's like, hey guys, let's why don't we have
like a weird idea?
You know, and I'm figuring that out in life now. You know, it's like we need let's take 2 boats. You know. Let's launch them simultaneously and let's go meet up somewhere, you know? And I was like, okay, cool. And then we thought about it, milled over it for a while. But now what you have is pretty much Bouyon Island. Yeah. So we're working with the guys with the barge. We're going to get a sand barge. We're going to go all the way out. We're going to put the sand on there, your tents, your decor, your bar, your DJ, stage sound and lights, everything, and
wow, that's
shove off.
That sounds so sexy.
Yeah,
Lily
it's definitely different.
Lily's saying, wonderful that you guys have fringe events, so it keeps the vibes flowing for the whole weekend. Fred is saying, great weekend, 13th, 14th of July.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Come on.
She's also asking, Bouyon food?
Of course. You cannot have a Bouyon festival without Bouyon food. I mean, come on.
I mean,
what is the food though?
Exactly.
No, but I mean, you know, we actually getting like more popular restaurants, that you usually go for your food on a Saturday, because Saturday is the braff. Saturday
In the broth.
is the one I that.
I know, I know,
Bouyon.
I know some of those restaurants you're talking about.
I
Uh-huh.
don't call it the names. This is about but so you gotta get everybody in and get that bouillon food, get that one pot, get that broth. I will even take a peel out. As long as I have ketchup on it. But we're gonna be there. It's gonna be a really really good weekend. Yeah, come out, come and experience the culture.
Great. So it's definitely different from the previous years of the event. Colin,
Yeah.
switching it up to you. You are gonna be contesting, or should I say, you're gonna be
Defending.
defending your girl. I didn't even want to say defending, because I'm like, yeah. But yeah, so you're gonna be defending your crown. What can we expect from Colin XP?
Oh my God, I don't even know what to expect from myself.
Have you started planning?
Don't let go too much, Colin.
Kevin,
People
I
want chill.
cannot help myself. I just
She's come
cannot
from
help.
the sky. She's come from the ground. Where you come from the side? From the ocean?
I cannot help myself, because everybody is looking at me as the person to beat. I mean, yes, true. I am the person to beat, but I'm looking at trying to beat my own self,
Right.
So I really don't know what I'm going to do this time, because every time I have to keep bringing my game higher and higher and higher,
Tell me a little bit about the process behind planning. Okay, I'm sure you have your song already,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So your song's done. Has it been launched yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so your song's done, your song's launched. We'll talk a little bit about the song in a little bit. Okay, now you have that done. How is the process, or how do you plan? Hey, do you have like a round table, or you sit down and you have them brainstorm? You have your dancers. You say, okay, we want to do this. We probably want to be spiders this year. We want to be. How do you guys? What is the process like?
Well, I would just sit down, me and Cornell, and just try and figure out what we can do that would top our previous performance. I mean, and we always like to do things that would be out of the box, like somebody would not think of doing that on the night in particular, so you can always stand out from the rest when you do reach on the stage. And then I don't know, like things just come to me like from out of nowhere. I might be walking on the street or driving and I'll just see something. I'm like, oh, I think I can use that in my performance. So we don't really sit down and plan, things work out quite better when it is spontaneous. Huh?
True, very
You just
true.
have to make sure you execute it properly. Yes.
Yes. Because you might want to come down on a hot air balloon, but the hot air balloon might not make it through customs.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And Kevin and they might not want me to bring it inside,
I am somebody that will be 110% behind that.
Yes.
Stunt doubles. Talk to me.
Oh my God.
All right. So Kevin, tell us, someone's asking, where will tickets be available for purchase?
I mean, well, all that information will be released shortly.
Okay.
I mean, we still have it's a little ways out. We still have a few T's to cross and I's to dot. Before we let it go. We want to make sure when we go, there's a big impact. It's definitely a rebrand. So we want to be able to know we did it well.
Okay. As you mentioned in that, I just want to let the viewers know, and those of you who are listening, that you can actually click on the link above. All their social media handles are there for the Bouyon Monarch. So you can click on there. The Facebook is on there. So you can follow them so that you get the information as it happens, as everything gets released. Because as Kevin did mention, we still have a few, about a month, 2 months almost, before the actual event. And of course, there are a lot of challenges in terms of planning an event, especially directly after a hurricane. So,
Yeah.
well, let me correct myself. Not just a hurricane, complete
Category
devastation,
5.
because people don't
Yeah.
even understand
Yeah.
how much destruction happened on the island of Dominica on September the 18th, 2017, right?
Yeah.
And for you guys to even be here with us, with internet, with electricity, it's indeed a big step, because a lot of places who actually got affected by hurricanes are still not as progressing as quickly
Yeah.
Right.
Dominica
Right.
is in terms
Right.
of. So I must say kudos to the heads behind it. Hopefully there's one head behind it, because anything we float is a monster, right? So,
That's where you going with that, yeah.
so hopefully, everything is continues on the right direction. Because eh, in planning an event of that magnitude, you're of course going to expect visitors to come in. And from my recollection, I know some hotels are back up and running in terms of operational. Guest houses are getting up and running, so people are gonna want to know where to stay, what to do, or
Yeah.
the airport moves, the taxi drivers, the roads. There's gonna be a lot of things to consider. Putting on this entire event. Are there any challenges that you guys, as the organizers, Kevin, you guys are facing in terms of putting on a show of that magnitude?
Well, I mean, yes, I will comment on that, but I thought it was interesting that you mentioned, people are coming in, because we are working along with Trust TV, from Guadeloupe and the French Islands. They have a reach of about 160 countries, and they're coming in. We're partnering with them, and Ill Events travels for us to make packages for people. Now, as you know, the French people are some of the largest consumers of bouillon. Yeah.
They are.
And so you want
Yeah.
to be able to accommodate these guys, like, hey, we're coming in. This is the weekend package. This is where to stay in Dominica. There are places open in Dominica, hotels, and then we're coming back. And but at the same time, I feel like we need to reach out a little bit more, to be able to do what we want to do and really spread the genre. As it relates to challenges, I think sponsorship, yo. I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to, that bottom line, whether you're in
Yeah.
red, whether you're in black, the vision is there, the good intention is there, the collaboration is there. Like, we have all the pieces to make something great, except maybe the finances. And we're talking to a lot of different people, sponsors, and things that we can do. And it continues to look positive, we're continuously getting people and reaching out to them. So I think people don't understand like how much it really takes, not necessarily just the finances, but the work it takes, the coordination. I mean, you're talking about coordinating 3 events that
Yeah.
are standalone events, for one
Definitely.
weekend, and that's a lot of moving parts, and I think people need to understand the magnitude and how much we go out. I always tell my members, and my friends, we need to demand more of everything, like demand more of our music, demand more of our entertainment, demand more. There's a standard, in my opinion, that we want to keep and not drop below. So the effort it takes to bring out a quality, a standard that can actually be a great like platform for Bouyon. If you're gonna put Bouyon up on a pedestal, I mean, you might as well make it look nice, like bedazzle it or something, something good, and something presentable and something
Yeah.
that people can say, well, hey, these guys are serious, Bouyon music, what's that, but we'll eventually get there. Challenges are gonna always come, and we're always gonna deal with them. We're all gonna move forward positively. We'll take criticism. We'll take advice. Always talk to the stakeholders. The artists, the old heads. They're really out and they're there to support us. So
don't bring too many of the old heads, yes? Because sometimes they just bring some old things to them, right?
No.
Hello, it's my show. I keep it 100.
Yes.
You have to acknowledge your roots. You have to acknowledge your
You
roots.
can acknowledge your root, but
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
the
yeah.
old heads tend to bring old ideas too with them.
Oh no, I agree. I agree.
I think they might mean it in a good way, man, not to do any
Yeah,
harm.
yeah, you know, so
I
you can have
think
a
so.
ticket in it for grain of salt, and then you just tweak it a little bit, bring it up to the 21st
And
century.
let me tell you something. Me self say that hurricane better have shake all of them for all of them to stay in their hole, so that new heads can come out.
Yeah,
Because it's new trees that grow, new houses coming up, new
all right,
vehicles,
you know,
new
and new
committees.
artists everywhere. You know, we have so many
New
artists
committees
now.
coming up. No, as you mentioned in that, I must comment this year's carnival celebrations, Dominica. Oh my god, out here in the diaspora, I was Jalu, my mouth was making water, I was bathing in
I mean, for the 6 o'clock.
I was
Only
bathing.
6 o'clock.
Let me tell that 6 o'clock, I think that was the best thing ever. You don't want to know why I think it was the best thing ever? Because
Why?
people came the hell out early
Yes.
o'clock, and people
Yeah.
had their mother home at 6 o'clock. The fighting
Yeah.
was limited, everything in broad daylight, nobody not going in no back door, no hole, right? Everybody got your mother home. And I really think they should keep that 6 o'clock idea. I love it.
Hey, let's not start an argument.
Dude, I love it.
Do not want to
I love the 6 o'clock idea because
Kevin, I take it you were not for the 6 o'clock.
Hey, I imagine I came down for like an hour because I was so mad.
that
I
is
was like, no.
this. You should
And
have
then I
come
was
up
like, okay, cool.
earlier.
And at 6 o'clock, I got to
Exactly.
town at like 5 o'clock. Like, yeah, I'll take that little 1 hour, you know?
But I sure you shake until your waist almost break.
Let me
Because
tell you,
it was the 1 hour you had.
that 1 hour that I shake it like it's 7 hours on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what I appreciate about the 6 o'clock is that thinking of Juve, and when you had to go from Juve to go out on the road, and then you out on the road all day, all night, and then you have to go for the next day. Even sometimes as an organizer of a carnival van, etc., you found it was kind of challenging in terms of coming out on time and everything. But the 6 o'clock really push people to get outside and
Yeah.
have a good time and keep things safe. The police was the presence was there, and not that their presence isn't there other times, but they were able to actually monitor better because broad daylight, right? Broad
Yeah.
daylight. And I really like the 6 o'clock idea. I really think that they should keep it. But I want to touch not on the 6 o'clock, I want to touch on the music that came out. My God, the music. So those Bouyon artists came out. I don't know if Maria take them out of their hole or something, but
They had plenty time to ride tracks. That's what it is.
Yes.
We have no
Yes.
lights. No
That's
TV,
why.
no
You have no
nothing.
lights, no internet,
They're
no
like riding
Facebook.
tracks.
All we had was pen and paper, we couldn't do nothing else. And a lot of stories to write on. So
that was awesome. That was really good. And it's not just the fact that people were releasing, but the quality was of a very high standard, I must say. Listening to some of the tracks, I really want to comment all of the guys who put out music for this year 2017, because a lot of times one of the things that the 30 to 45-year-olds who love the Bouyon music would say is that, oh, it's too much of the same thing. Panam, 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 panam. There's no lyrics, but there was a lot of good content, and messages in the music that came out this year. So I really and truly want to commend all those guys who came on, and hopefully, they can keep coming out with good music to promote Bouyon, because at the end of the day, it's Bouyon to the world.
Yes.
It's
But
Bouyon to the world. Yeah, go ahead.
we've been having these meetings, right? And we've been talking to these stakeholders, and I feel like this year I feel so positive about it. I mean, I think it's a solid effort, a solid initiative. But like this year, the kind of like outpouring and the support and like even the fire under the pot, yeah, the panel discussion, that
Yeah,
was,
I
let
heard
me tell
it.
you, it was heated, you know. I mean, the pot could have been hotter, but
Yes.
you know, we kind of eased into it. I think the prime minister had an address like
Mhm.
45 minutes before, so you know, it kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
kept everybody cool, like you know, the little
At bay.
rain.
People kept at bay.
Yeah, it ended up
when,
picking
when we
up, you
talking
know.
when we talking about ministers, you have to use
I,
ministers. What's there?
Yes.
hey,
Yes.
right, you know. So, oh, and I also want to mention too that Ali, we've been working with Alliance Forces, right? Alliance Forces has been great to us. We've been hosting all our meetings there, all our stakeholder meetings as well. They continue to partner with us. This is the third year they've been going on. So just want to say thank you. They're actually the ones who are facilitating the connection, you know, with Trust TV and events travels and what we're trying to do in the French market. So I just wanted to shout them out one time for sure.
Awesome. I just want to find out from you guys, both of you. A lot of folks are out in the diaspora. A lot of folks are in the French islands. A lot of folks might be looking right now. They might not look at it today, but they might look at the video a couple of days down the road or a month down the road, or they might listen to the podcast in their vehicles later on, and they might be saying, what can we in the diaspora do to help you guys not just promote the event, but to market your event, to bring awareness to your event? What exactly would you like folks in the diaspora to do to help? Because a lot of Dominicans out of Dominica, because of course a lot of folks got displaced after Maria, and some folks of course have made roots in other places, and they probably not ready to move back home because there are a lot of challenges at home too. So people lost their homes and so on. So they might be on the other end and they might be saying, I really want to help this year with the Bouyon Monarch. What can I do to help?
Well, Kevin, I think you should go on that one because you would know
Okay,
about the
I was saying
event.
women first, you know, ladies first, but okay.
Look at him.
Uh-huh.
I take it in my big screen, you know.
In terms of helping, I mean, you know, there's the regular information sharing that we're going to be putting out. We're putting out Facebook information, website information. You know, we're consuming different medias. Sharing that definitely helps, you know. But I think one of the big things I want to impress is, you know, just the culture, you know, and the sharing of the culture and the understanding of the culture, because yeah, Bouyon music is it's music in the end, but Bouyon first, you know. So that Bouyon culture is something that I believe that all diasporas should embrace, you know. Learn about your Bouyon music, learn about your culture, because what happens is um in its authenticity, you know, you become more patriotic, you know, more Dominican. Like, imagine having to connect to your culture, you know. Yeah, you may not like Bouyon music in its current form, you know, but it's a process and it's evolving, and it's not ever one thing or one kind of thing, you know. Take thing for instance, what's his signal band, you know, and I Anybody You Love, and that's, I mean, I hear that example all the time, you know.
Dude, that is my anthem.
I, you know, and
Anything anybody tell me, anybody you love.
right, you know, and I was like, that's their Bouyon love, you know, and then it'll have like Siwo Benji will talk about Siwo Bouyon, you know, and all these other kinds of Bouyon. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't, it's not good. I mean, it's different, and there are different ways of expressing Bouyon music. So I think the first thing is that we should all understand the culture, the Bouyon culture, our culture, and we'll get a greater appreciation for the music.
Yeah, and I
Colin, how
also
about
want to add, maybe I missed a little bit of what you said, maybe, but not just the event. You know, I want to talk about like the Bouyon music, like for the people in the diaspora who wants to help us promote the Bouyon music in particular. You know, like sometimes they have these shows and they want to, like, for example, I could use probably the Kings of Kings. You know, if we're talking about Kings of Kings and we want to promote the Dominican music and the Dominican culture and so more, why not have Bouyon people in the shows, you know? So when they have in the shows outside in the diaspora, they can also include the people, and not just talking about the likes of Triple K and maybe Asa would be the exceptions, you know, because they're always outside. But you know, you have the young ones, you have the Bouyon Monarch, you know, you can always invite them to the show. And even too now, as we have in this discussion and we're talking about the Bouyon Jazz, I wanted to comment on that a little bit because we were talking about the Bouyon Jazz, and the first thing we spoke about was a Toro tapping playing Balance Batty, you know, and we have Cornell, who has a whole album with all these all the great Bouyon songs. Yes, of course, of course. You know,
there's a P in her name, and it does not necessarily mean it's for pretty.
and yes, but that is a like an error that we tend to make. Like, we feel like whatever is out there would not necessarily be better, but sound better or more appealing to the audience than what we have. But if it is speaking jazz, and when you say, come listen to Cornell and, you know, his interpretations, you can buy it on iTunes, by the way.
I can drop this right here.
in your face.
Yes, right. And you will get an idea of what maybe the Bouyon and jazz night would be like, what it's sounding like. You know, it will appeal people to come in, and that's what the people in the diaspora can do to help us. They can also help us to promote the music as much as they can.
Wow, it's been an awesome show. I know Kevin, you know, Kevin always have an agenda. I mean, from a like he always has.
Always have an angle.
Yeah, always have an angle. I swear, what is it called? What's his name? My partner, Afimate. Afimate, and you must be brothers from all angles.
From all angles.
I see what you did there.
Well, you want.
Yes.
He always has, and that Kevin always has an agenda. I know, Kevin, you guys have the Hike Fest for DHT coming up pretty soon. I know you wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Well, hey, I just want to let everybody know too that May is Tourism Awareness Month. All right, so we have a whole month of activities along with Discover Dominica Authority, Dominica Hotel and Tourism Authority Association. Wow. And this month we're celebrating Hike Fest. It's our 10th anniversary. We have 4 hikes every Saturday in the month. So, you know, in May, whenever you think about May, think about hiking. Yeah, we had our first hike today. We went to Emerald Pool from Pocasset.
How was that?
Fun. Oh my goodness. I mean,
I have a question. Not just how was it, but like the scenery, like how I know things are growing back, and everything growing back so nice and fresh and so clean.
Yeah,
you know, how was the view like? You know, walking from Pocasset to Emerald.
Well, first you can see straight through. You know, because
I know.
I mean, how much of a canopy, you know, but the canopy is coming back.
You can't do nothing in it. No, bush.
You can't even escape, you know. They see.
You can't do nothing of that because you can see from the right way.
So they it was clear, but the greenery is coming back. It's not that. You know, in the right after it was just brown kind of thing. It's not brown, you know, it's green, like the bark is growing back, and you know, wildlife and just the sounds and everything. It's beautiful. Dominica is beautiful. That's all I can say. And we have an opportunity every Saturday to rediscover its beauty with Hike Fest. Every Saturday it's $50 for one person, for an adult, $25 for children. Come out.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Of course, you know, he wears the hat of executive vice president of the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association. So he had to give his plug in.
Let's plug it in right now.
I thought we were here to talk about Bouyon.
Don't worry, I will send him his Bouyon bill later.
Maybe you can say you can listen to some Bouyon while we hiking.
You understand?
I mean, I'm listening to Bouyon while we're talking. I mean, that's not too
Exactly.
far. Yeah.
Carlene, any final words? I know you give, like somebody said, promo one time. You gave your he gave you a promotion. Any final words? And while Carlene is actually giving her final words, if you have any questions, anything that you think that we missed, anything you wanna ask about or you're uncertain of, you can do so right away. We have like literally seconds before we wrap up the show. So, Carlene, any final words?
Well, I just want to thank you, Jael, for having me. And, anytime again that you want to have me on the Cacoa tea, I
Girl,
still have some Cacoa tea left. So,
we can have one featuring Carlene XP, like right before the,
yes.
So hold on, I want to know, exclude me, just like
So we just want
to the side.
Green. But you see how you cannot do nothing for man. I put him
You
on
know what I mean?
by himself, and I make me ball.
But
And
you talking
it's
about
my
excluding
show.
me,
And now he was he put him out there. He want to say I want to exclude him.
We excluded him. We excluded him.
I'm jealous, guys.
So I just want to thank you once again for having me, and want to encourage all the people listening, whether you're from Dominica or you're in the diaspora, like we like to say, to come out and support the festival, the Bouyon Festival. I promise. Well, I always deliver on the night of the competition, and whatever nights I would perform, again, I always deliver and try to do my best and encourage everybody to support the Bouyon music. And yes, you can always buy my album. It's called Expelicious. It's on iTunes. You can find all the Bouyon tracks and soca tracks from Colin XP. Thank you.
Expelicious. Here's Bouyon Monarch. So far, they have 17 applicants for the event. So it's looking promising. The first year they had only 7. The second year they had 10. I guess this year they added 7 and 10, and they have 17. So they have 17 applicants for the show.
We have a lot to go through.
That is really amazing. I must applaud you guys, the entire team, Larry and Simeon and Dion and all of you guys who've been working, Kevin and the rest of the guys, Dion, I think what's his name?
Lucille.
Yes. The entire crew is working really hard to put on a show. Larry's such a nice guy. I just want to give my little plug in it. I know Larry my high school days, right? I've known her, and I found
you
out
know
that
what I mean? I should say
no, it's my family. It's my family. It's my family.
She can't get vexed.
And I didn't even know he was my family. He did tell me he was my family. Anyways, he's such a nice guy, and he's genuinely for the music. Like even not because he's my family, but just speaking with him, you can see he has a desire for the music to grow and get out there, and I really must applaud him for not giving up, even when the first year was not as hot, the second year came up a little bit hotter, and this year I expect it to be bigger and so much better. You guys, now that you guys have a festival, you've added so many different things, so many different elements to it. I wish you guys all the best. Colin, goes without saying, I get your promos every single week where you perform in. He's here, there, and everywhere. Sister in Tutu. Colin can perform for any crowd.
Yeah. But you're crazy coconut in June, yeah?
I'm in Crazy Coconut in June. I mean, I play in every single bar that wants me to come and perform. I will be there. I am in another festival. I don't think my management want me to say anything about it yet, but I'm in another big Caribbean festival in August. You will definitely hear about it soon. Colin XP is doing great things,
Yes. So I really must applaud you. I mean, Colin, you can give a play at a birthday party and the roof will blow up. I remember she playing at Maxine's place up in Bells. I remember so many different places I've seen you perform, and every single time you always deliver. Fort Young, New Year's Eve last year was lit. That was so turned up. I mean, like, really. So I must applaud you, and only great things. Just keep up the momentum, keep doing your
Thank
thing,
you.
and don't forget you can get her album. You could also what I'll do is I will add your social media handles as well, so that people can
Definitely.
get it, especially if they go on my website to see the plug. Don't forget, guys, if you're tuning in, share the plug, share the Facebook link, share it on your timeline, tag a friend, let somebody know that what's going on, and probably make plans with your girlfriends or your guy friends. Make a line to Dominica on the 13th, 14th, or 15th of July. The place to be is in Dominica for the Bouyon Festival. 3 nights. I almost wanted to say pulsating rhythms.
But it's actually gonna be pulsating, you know. It's Bouyon music, so we're gonna go straight to that pulse, you know.
That's the Bouyon experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
But 3 nights of music, 3 nights of activities. I love the time of the year it's at. You know, it's right after people get off from school, so no excuses, you know, for school and stuff. And if you're thinking of taking your vacation around that time or in July, that's a great time to also take your vacation and come to Dominica. I mean, Dominica, looking to get their people back home. Of course, progress is happening. It may be slower than you expect, but it's happening a lot quicker than most places. So, so just bear with them and head down to Dominica and enjoy. You see, I don't see no sign of me there on Colin and Kevin's face.
I even got my red hair.
I see that.
We had our share of music. Trust me. Right now we're clean. That's okay.
Yeah.
So head down to Dominica. And if you are in Dominica that weekend, or if you're planning probably to go overseas, probably wait until after the weekend to take your trip, you know, and support the very first ever Bouyon Festival happening right here in Dominica. That is July 13th, 14th, and 15th. 2018. Thanks again to Colleen. Colleen will talk private about getting you in on the show. I'm actually
definitely
I have 2 more spaces left for this season, and when I wrap up, I don't come back until September. I'm taking a break, so I have 2 more spots left in June, so we'll try and get you on in one of those. So I think we can have a definitely good time on the show. And Kevin, it's always a pleasure having you from my Astafans days, you know. Now
go way back.
now he's the president, vice president.
Vice
Of
president.
Have to step up in life.
And the big guns, boy. Boy, they really leave me in the bus stop, boy. Thanks, guys, for being here.
All right.
Don't forget, guys, if you missed the show, you can log on to the site in 24 hours. It will be up on my website, so you can get the entire show there. You can download it if you want to listen at your own leisure. If you actually want to listen on iTunes, you can actually go through there on iTunes. You can search. It's also on Castbox and on Buzzsprout, so you can go on there in 24 hours and check out today's show. Tomorrow we have a great show for you. We have from Trinidad, we have a bikini and fitness model. It's going to be on with us tomorrow on Cacoa. So she hails from Trinidad, and it's going to be an exciting show. So tune in. Thanks again, guys, for being here with me. Thanks to all of you who logged in and who shared the link. Thanks to all those of you who I really must say thanks to the supporters of Cacoa. I mean, when I'm late, I get messages. Jael, where are you? If I'm like, if I haven't logged in as yet, you know, there really are some diehard supporters, friends. I want to say fans, but you know, a lot of times the people who really, really support the show are people that I know personally, and they really, really keep coming back every single week and listening to it and sharing it. I want to big up all my girls, you know yourselves, who are always on every single week. Thank you so very much for supporting Cacoa, and all of you. Surprisingly, I learned most of my viewers are from the US. I thought it would have been Dominica, but I guess there are challenges with internet as well, you know. But I'm so grateful to everyone who comes on every single week, who shares, who likes, who comments. Shadow, what's up? I just see you. Come on. Who shares, who likes, who comments, who gives positive feedback. Thanks, guys. Again, until next time, have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Cacoa Tea. Remember, when you're drinking your Cacoa Tea, make sure you drink it nice and hot. No man cold. Make sure you drink it nice and hot. Keep your little chair warm. And ting. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Until next time. Bye.
All right, bye.